welcome to Thez Nutz Garage, and today we're going to be back out here working on old Rodney. Alright, so we are back in Tennessee at our original Thez Nutz Garage, and we're doing a staycation this week. We're going to be working on the roof, maybe some windows, maybe some framing on the inside. So we got a bunch of projects we're trying to work on the house this week and around the farm in general this week. But when it gets into the hot day like it is right now, what I'm going to be doing is trying to do some other projects. And one of the projects that I want to do this week is back on Rodney. Now, if you don't know who Rodney is, I'll put a card up here. This is a truck I bought for 300 bucks. It belonged to a tire shop in town. They sold it to one of their employees. He wound up selling it to me because the engine had a rod knock in it. Engine only had 86,000 miles or so like that, and it was completely trashed. I'll try to put the card up here where we tore that engine down, and it was basically junk, the whole thing. Could use it for art. Maybe keep the block, could do something with the block with the crank, connecting rods, pistons, all the nine works, the heads, they're junk. So don't know how that happened. The engine got a rod knock in it, but I went to go trying to fix it. Now, Rodney's a 94 F-150, XLT, I believe, with a 302 in it. HO engine. Now, I found a truck that was wrecked that had a 302 in it, identical to the engine that's in Rodney. Now, the problem was it was advertised as a 94. When I got over there, I was just trying to pull the motor and get on my merry way. And when I got home, got to putting it all back together and went to start it up, there was a major problem with the engine running. It had a big misfire, just run kind of not so good. Well, I didn't come to find out that the truck was actually a 92. And between 93 and 94, Ford changed their 302 engines. Now, 93 down, that was just a 302 engine. And I think the old firing orders like 15426 I believe it is. Could be wrong, could be reversed. And then in 94 and up, they went to an HO 302. And I think that firing order is like 13726 All right. Two different firing orders. Now, you still have the distributor in the truck, in both engines. So, you know, that's good because you don't have the computer and, like, say, coil packs that's, you know, working it, because that even make it more complicated. So what I am trying to do is that when started up the truck and noticed there's the difference in the two engines. Now, also the difference between the firing order is how the fuel injectors work. In the 93 and below, how the fuel injectors worked was the computer would tell all this bank to fire, and then it would tell this bank to fire. So it's like this, 4 and 4, 4 and 4. Well, 94 and up, the computer now tells each individual fuel injector to fire with its corresponding spark plug. So spark plug 1 would fire, so would the fuel injector. Spark plug 6 would fire, so would that fuel injector. So it's every one of them's individual. Now, here's where it kind of gets into the weeds a little bit. I've heard that one way to fix this is to pull the cam out of this 92 engine and put in say a 95 F-150 cam. But what does it consist of when we're pulling out a cam? You got to pull out the cam, you got to remove the heads, lifters, the whole top end of the engine. You got to do that. That takes in a lot of work. Now, if I would have known this before I put this engine in the truck, I could have done all of this while it was sitting on my engine stand. But I didn't know. I was kind of ignorant of that, and I'm learning kind of the hard way. And I'm hoping that my thought here will work. Thought process. Like I said, it's hot, so give me a thumbs up. I'm sweating to death, baby. I'm sweating to death for you. All right, so I'm not going to go that route. Takes a lot of work. I'm trying to do a workaround, as they say. Now, the engine that's in the truck is from the 92. The engine harness on this truck is also a 92. The wiring harness under the hood is from a 94. So we do have new kittens over here if anybody wants some. They just were born. I can't get to them because they're back over here behind this 78. But we'll be working on that maybe some this week. So that's what you hear in the background, some new baby kittens. So during our workaround, what I have thought is, I was talking to old Cleveland Ford about this, and he said, well, sometimes you just got to give the computer what the computer wants. So my train of thought is okay, when you look at the two firing orders together, you will notice that there are only 4, I'll say, pistons that are different in the firing order. Number 1's the same, 2 and 6 are the same, and number 8's the same. The ones that are different are 3 and 5, 4 and 7. So what I'm thinking, and you can comment down below, maybe you run into this. I'm thinking if you take the injector wire that goes to the injector from number 3 and flip it with number 5. Take number 4 and 7 and flip them. So now the computer is telling which injector to fire, but what I've done is I've moved it to the corresponding, somebody was driving by, my neighbor Jamie, to the corresponding spark plug. So the computer says, hey, I'm firing to number 5, and it is firing to number 5 in the old firing order. So I think it's only going to take me moving some wires around to do this. And then what I'll have to do is take the upper part of the pelham off the intake, and you have to do it's a little bit more work, but I can probably swap this out in probably, I don't know, maybe three hours, flip it around and just see if it works. Because I will have to put this other wiring harness on the engine, and it's not as simple as just plopping it off and then plopping it back on. I'm probably just going to make it easier and just remove that upper pelham. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the wiring harness and exactly what I'm talking about. Alrighty, so here's these firing orders. This is the firing order that's on the truck. This is the engine that's in it now. So this is what I'm saying. You can see that when the old firing order, the computer's going to go, hey, I want to go to 1 to 5. Well, if I move 5 to where 3 is, it'll go 1, 5. Flip 4 and 7 around, it'll go 1, 5, 4, 2, 6, 3, 7, 8. And that way the computer's, like I said, it's firing to its correct spark plug. Now this is the harness that came on the truck on the original engine. And what I've done is I've gone through here and I've set up this wiring harness, nailed it down so it won't move. And I've marked each individual injector. That's not an injector wire. That injector, this injector. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get injector 3 wire, all of this wiring, and I'm going to basically undo all of this and reroute it to where 5 goes, which is here. So I'm going to have to pull this wire all the way over here, and then this wire all the way over there. Same thing with 4 and 7. Here's 7 right here, and there's 4. Not as long of a trail, but still, you know, I have to undo all of this. And then once I get it all undone, I will have to go back and tape it all back up, make sure it's all secure. Now, you can see it's pretty big. Not that big of a deal to do. It's just going to take a little bit of time of cutting all this out and then retaping this up. So I'm going to go out here and show you inside the truck what I'm going to be removing. Alrighty, so the next clip you're going to see is me basically doing a time-lapse video on rewiring this harness. After that, I will come back and do a quick little insert of how I have it rewired and have it all taped up and ready to go onto the truck. Then after that, it's just gonna be another time-lapse video because I'm not doing a how-to video here. I'm just doing a test, and you can comment down below if you think this is gonna work. I'll give a few seconds after this clip for you to make your vote. Is this gonna work? Can we fool the computer and the engine to make the truck run well enough just to use it as a, I'm going to town to get some parts truck. Nothing special. We're not doing anything special with it. So after I get this put back on the engine, I will do a first fire up after everything's put back together in a clip like this, so that way we can see if it runs right. If it doesn't, we're probably just gonna push this thing down a hill because I'm gonna put it to the side if it doesn't work because I don't have a lot of time to be messing with it. So let's get to doing this wiring harness, and I'll see you here in a bit. All right, so I'm looking at this harness. Like I've said, I've never done this before, so if I'm doing it wrong, just let me know in the comments. So if I'm looking at this right, every injector has a red wire. Don't know what that red wire is, a ground or a constant hot, or maybe it's just an ignition. But then when you get to looking at each individual injector, you see it has a different colored wire from each other. Like that one, I accidentally cut that one, but I'm gonna be replacing this one anyway. And then you come over here to number 3, it's like a green and black. And then we have 4 here, that's a different color wire. So what I'm thinking is I can just jump just one wire, just reroute one wire along this harness to where it's supposed to go, to 3 to 5, and then 4 to 7. Just swap those 2 out and then just tape it all back up. So I'm gonna run to get some wire and some tape, and I'll be right back. All right, so here's this harness. I got everything flipped. I think it's 3 to 5 and 7 to 4. Got those injector wires flipped around. So now all I have to do is take apart the truck and reassemble it. So let's get started on that. All right, we made it back with Rodney. So we left here, we left on the 2-lane road, went out on the 4-lane road. Man, I gave it some gas and the truck just goes like it should. It doesn't hesitate, it doesn't backfire. It just, when you give it gas, it goes. It's not the greatest performance truck in the world, but it goes like it should. It doesn't give any of those issues that I was having before. Now, since that is, I believe, is corrected, what I'm gonna be doing now is getting the transmission looked at, because it does have a transmission leak, and I think that was caused from when I put the engine in the truck and the transmission. When I went to mate them, I think I had it in a bind, and I think it kind of messed up that seal behind the torque converter. So I'm gonna take that to somebody, let them look at it, and let them fix it, because I ain't got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. So let them take care of that. Now, once we get the truck back after that, what I'm gonna do next is look at the brakes. I've had this truck 2 years. Here's the card from where I bought it for 300 bucks. And I've never had a tire off of this truck. Never looked at the brakes, never looked at the suspension, never looked at the shocks, none of that. Because I've been trying to focus on this engine and getting this thing running right before I dumped a lot of money in the truck everywhere else. So when I get back from the transmission shop, we'll start looking at the brakes Like I said, suspension, get an alignment done on it, and then maybe get some new tires and rims for it. Maybe even level the back end of the truck down, you know, with sandbags. Do that so it sits level, or get a suspension. Get something, but it's probably gonna be sandbags because I'm not wasting a lot of money on it. So then after that, what I'm gonna do is just jump in the interior. I have a window regulator I need to fix, clean up the inside, you know, do some basic work to it, and just make it a good all around, you know, once a month driver like what I'm using with it now, because I drive this truck about once a month. So, and if I need to go haul something, it'll be there for some people in my family if they need to use it. So, like the video if you haven't already liked it. See, big thumbs up. Also, subscribe to the channel because we got some cool stuff that's coming in the future. Yes, one day I'll get back on this 78 F-350 that's sitting right here. I'm gonna get back on that. I just need to get this one thing out of the way, and I'll be able to kind of, the time that I was putting on Rodney over here, I'll be able to put on this truck. So, got that coming up, some other stuff to some of the other cars we have, but we need more likes, more subscribers to the channel, because all of that helps our YouTube channel grow, and then we get more money so we can get cooler stuff and do more projects. So also comment down below if you got a YouTube channel, or if you got a question about this truck or another truck or a build or something that I'm working on, or something that you're working on, just tell me about it. That kind of helps when you comment. It's very important. It helps YouTube's algorithm put your videos out there. So please comment down below, even if it's saying hello and what state you're from or something. Other than that, share it with your family and friends. Sharing is caring. You know, write it on a postcard, send it to Grandma. Take Grandma, watch this channel. This guy's just trying to grow his channel and he needs your help, Grandma. And I do. I need all the grandmas' help that I can get. So I guess that's going to be it. I'm going to get out of here because it's hot. And I got to go do some other stuff. So y'all have a blessed day, and I'll see you in the next video.